Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Abiyyu'Ammaar. I am the representation from my team to present this presentation of our research paper with the title of Improving Programmer Work Quality with ChatGPT Assistance. This is gonna be the outline of our presentation today, which gonna be start from the background, related works, methodology, research result, conclusion, and discussion. So for the first one is about our research background and motivation. There are 3 points that are being discussed right now for our background and motivation, which is the first about the increasing number of chatbots. And also because it is lately being trending on the internet, therefore ChatGPT is considered to be one of the latest and trending chatbots that are being used by many people on the internet right now. And then there's the usefulness of ChatGPT, which is highly regarded. Not only those like programmers and those who are within the technologies department, but also those from another work environment which is completely different from the technologies department. They still use ChatGPT to help with their work, so it's leading to a growing number of users. But still, it's especially among programmers which is popular. And then there's the third point of being a programmer requires knowledge and skill because they need to catch up with the development of the technologies every year. So they need a help in some way to keep their knowledge and skills to be up to date. Therefore, we want to assess and analyze ChatGPT in its ability to assist programmers in their work. And then there's our related works. The first point is about paper conducts analysis and experiments on the usefulness of ChatGPT for programmers. There is currently two examples that are being showed in this slide, which is the first one about a paper conducted by some Biswas experimenting to assess the usefulness of ChatGPT in performing simple IT tasks. And then there's also the paper about ChatGPT as a support tool for online behavioral task programming, which the author conducted an experiment by building a website with the code that was 100% generated by the ChatGPT. There's also shortcomings and potential of GPT that have also been extensively discussed, but we're gonna discuss this more on the next slides. Third, there is our methodology. We use the systematic literature review because we are heavily focused on reviewing existing paper out there. So for us, the systematic literature review is considered to be the best method for us to use right now. And there's also our database or our paper source, which are constructed by three different database. The first one is about Google Scholar, which is the common one to look for paper research and stuff. And then there's also Core, the same things as a Google Scholar. It is a different database, obviously, since it contains like millions research paper. And then there's also Science Direct, which is the same stuff like Core, but with some limitations. And then this is our Prisma elimination process. We can see on this Prisma flowchart that we are starting with 556 papers from the records identified, and then there's also additional records through other source, which is 4 of them, making it 560 papers for the initialized paper. And then after some elimination process, we are left by 27 paper to be used that are eligible and valid to be used as a reference for our research program, for our research paper. Then there's also the research questions for our methodology, which are consist by 4 questions. The first one being, is ChatGPT useful in assisting the work of programmers? Then there's also, what programmer tasks are often solved using ChatGPT? How can ChatGPT as an assistant help programmers in developing software? And then the last is ChatGPT reasonable for being called an assistant that can help the work of programmers? Okay. About the first question about ChatGPT, is ChatGPT useful in assisting the work of programmers? It is useful because ChatGPT is one of the most latest chatbots out there that are currently available for everyone. So it have advantages like the capability to perform code completion, correction, and various other IT related tasks. Not only for code, but you can also look for functionality and stuff about systems and other IT related tasks. And then there's also the usefulness of ChatGPT, which has been demonstrated and proved by an experiment where a website was built using a code generated entirely by ChatGPT. So it is no lie that ChatGPT is useful for us. But still, there is some limitations like a chain of reasoning, a lack of chain reasoning, and it may experience some hallucination. But there is a handling for it. There is a handling. The handling is to mitigate this limitation. It is important to provide clear and comprehensive instruction to ChatGPT so we may have better high quality results. Then there's also the result for question 2 about the tasks that are often solved by ChatGPT for programmers that are currently listed for 9 tasks, which is starting from the code generation and then providing convincing answers to act as a teaching tool, bug fixing, learning and improving AI, this decent understanding of general knowledge, accurate answer to simple IT related questions, document generation, provide code suggestion, and provide many types of answer from the most effective to the simplest solution. And also this is the table for the task which are connected to the study identifier from our reference. And then there's the result question for question 3. How can ChatGPT help programmer? ChatGPT can be used as a tool to obtain answer or outputs related to specific cases depending on the prompts that are being input to the ChatGPT. And there's also ChatGPT being used as a tool to learn new things for programmers to become a more efficient and effective software developer. But there's an exception where ChatGPT should not be used as an evaluator because it cannot provide optimal answer for opinion-based question. So we should be strict that ChatGPT should not be used for opinion-based question, or it may experience hallucination to the results or even lack of chaining reason. Okay, this is the 6-stage prompt pattern which are recommended to be used: classification and name, context and intent, motivation, structure and key ideas, implementation example, and consequences. And this is the example of the usage. And then there's result question for number 4, which is the consideration of ChatGPT. There is disadvantages in ChatGPT, such as the hallucination or limited to it less update and etc. And so this is gonna be a consideration for us to be using ChatGPT as an assistant being to the work of programmers. So is ChatGPT considered capable of being referred to as a programmer assistant? Yes. Why? Because it have higher gain than the risk. So it is possible because the existence of ways to minimize the effects of ChatGPT limitation. Therefore, overall, ChatGPT demonstrates a great promise as a programmer assistant, offering valuable support in various programming tasks. It is by understanding its limitation and utilizing it effectively with a clear guidance. So ChatGPT can enhance the efficiency and productivity of programmer, and it may pave the way for further advancement in the field of AI and programming. Okay, thank you for listening. Thank you for the attention. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.